Hello. Hi, everyone. Hi, everybody. Sorry. Welcome back. Welcome back to VCTV, the Venture Capital TV from La Token. My name is Sunny Mohanty. I'm the host and moderator of today's show, where we're going to discuss about market making insights with our special guest Meenu Sarin. So the last episode, this is going to be a series of episode which is going to be telecasted every Wednesday at this fixed time, which is 9:30 a.m. UK time and 4:30 p.m. Singapore time. So last episode, which was our first episode of the series, we discussed about efficient markets. What are efficient markets? And also, we touched a little bit about liquidity, what is liquidity and its role in efficient markets in the last episode, right? So, and that liquidity needs to be built, and market maker help towards that. So we're going to continue our session with going a little deeper into this topic about market making insights. So I'd like to introduce our guest, but before that, okay.
Right.
Hi, Meenu. Welcome
Hi.
back on
Thank
VCTV.
you.
How are you today?
Good, good. Thanks, Sunny. How about you?
I am very good, and I'm always very, very excited to be on this show with you and listen and hear from you, like what you've got to share about this market making liquidity. Because obviously you have a lot of experience. You've been working with blockchain, crypto companies in the past. So we would like to. I'm always very excited to talk to you and discuss all these things with you. So welcome back again, Minu, and thanks for giving your time to La Token being on the show. So last episode, if you remember, Minu, we touched upon the efficient market, right? So today we're going to talk about how that liquidity that we discussed last episode needs to be built, and how does a market maker help towards that. So would you like to start with your introduction first, and then we
Yeah,
take this
sure.
question from you? Thank
Will
you.
do. Thanks. Thanks, Sunny. As For my introduction, my name is Meenu, and I am a technology evangelist. And through my company, BLSI Consultancy, I offer two main services. One of them is doing your qualitative research for the technology market and the trends. And the second one is the technology evangelism and the community, the tech community, and the tech ecosystem development build up. And I do have a blockchain podcast, which I title it as Blockchain Hustle Podcast. And I have been podcasting on that for the last year and a half. So that is available on the different channels like Apple Podcasts, Google, Podbean, Stitcher, and of course on YouTube. So that's the introduction from my part, Sunny.
Yes.
And getting back onto this particular market making series, right? So just wanted to mention that what we are doing here is to create it's an educational or an awareness series about market making. So we are not talking about actually hands-on thing about market making, but having the basic understanding of what are the workings behind why is it. So that's one. And you did a very good job at the recap of the summary of the previous episode. So, yeah, last week we talked about orderly markets, the efficient markets. So, these are the markets where you have plenty of buyers and sellers. You have people buy and sell their trade in a very frictionless way. There is a tight spread, the order book volume is high, there's a high liquidity. So that is actually a very utopian world. And
Right.
unfortunately, we do not live in a utopian world,
Oh,
right?
right.
So, uh, so because of that, the token issuers, the exchanges like yours, La Token, for example, they need the help of market makers to inject liquidity. And I would share about what exactly the market makers do for this purpose. But I would like to start with establishing some terminology so that we are all aligned.
Right.
Okay. So the first one I wanted to talk about is who are the makers and takers.
Right.
Okay. So in
Yeah.
any market, you have one category of makers and another category of takers. So who are makers? Makers are those traders, those entities who create buy and sell orders which do not get executed immediately. So, for example, let's say going by today's price of Bitcoin, I say sell my Bitcoin, X number of Bitcoin, for example, at when they reach $50,000.
Right.
So, this is well above the market price, as you know,
Yeah.
and it doesn't get executed immediately. So, this order gets added on to the order book.
Right.
So what happens by doing this, the order book volume gets increased. It is creating liquidity into the thing. And by doing it, what happens is that the spread goes a little bit down. It narrows it down. And so when I'm adding liquidity to the exchange, I am actually, these makers are basically, they're called the liquidity providers.
Yeah.
So, and in a market order, sorry, in a limit order, which does not get executed immediately. So, if I am buying under a maker order, okay,
Hmm. Yeah.
then I would submit a price into the exchange which is less than the ask price.
Right.
And if I am selling under a market order, then I would submit a price which is greater than the bid price. So by
Right.
doing this, it doesn't get executed, but it is adding on to the existing order book. And these are your market makers. Okay.
Yeah.
Then on the flip side, you have another category of traders who we call it as the takers.
Yeah.
What these guys do is they put in orders which get executed immediately. So what they're doing is they are fulfilling the orders which were created by the makers. So in effect, they are removing the liquidity which was created by the makers.
Right.
Okay. So makers add to the liquidity, takers are taking away from the liquidity. And takers are basically your market orders, and your makers orders are your limit orders, generally
Right.
speaking. Okay.
Okay.
And because of this, because they're adding to the liquidity, the makers, usually the exchanges, they will offer some rebates on the trading fees to the makers. So you will
Right.
see in any exchange, when you talk about the trading fees, the makers have to pay little or perhaps zero trading fees, whereas the takers have to pay some percentage or some amount of the trading fees. So that's the basic stuff on your makers and takers in any
Right.
exchange. So
Okay.
now that we have covered this simple thing, let's get on to the theme, which is market makers.
Yeah.
Okay. So market makers are the entities who will provide the liquidity into the trading market. So what do
Yeah.
they do? What they do is they simultaneously will quote both bid, that is a buy as well as sell orders. They will put that into the order book. So
Yeah.
it's a simultaneous quote for the orders. And by doing this, they are adding to the order book. They are helping towards a fair price discovery of the tokens that they have quoted for.
Hmm.
And this in turn helps towards the liquidity for that token pair and on
Yeah.
that exchange.
Yeah.
And they do this, that is the simultaneous quote, they do this across multiple platforms and across markets. So it's not just restricted to one platform, but multiple exchanges, for example. So, for example, I would say that if I am a market maker, I can say I put in a trade order of, say, I buy 1,000 tokens of token A at $1, at $1.
Hmm.
And I also put in another order to buy 1,000, for example, again, of token A at 1.01.
Okay.
So what I'm doing is I am just changing that difference by a very small bit.
Yeah.
But what I'm actually effectively doing is I am adding a little bit more of the trading activity on that exchange.
Right.
So I'm trying to narrow down the
That's
spread which is there. So basically adding to the liquidity. So you see what happens here is between 1 and 1.01, it basically is a hypothetical example, but the difference is very small. So the profit which a market maker would get on one particular exchange, one trade, would be very small,
okay.
and they take the profit. They'll need to do multiple trades. so that they can get a kind of a considerable amount of profit. And they're basically taking the profit on your spread,
Right.
right? So spread, as I mentioned earlier, is your difference between the bid and the ask,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So what they're doing by this, by doing all this, they're maintaining a healthy order book. Then they are trying to reduce the volatility of that token price.
Mm.
And by reducing the volatility of the token price, they're kind of reducing the probability of slippage, the
Right.
execution cost, right?
Yeah.
So it's the execution cost when I enter a trade and I expect it to happen at a certain price, and it actually gets executed at another price. So if the difference is more, the slippage is more.
Yeah.
So by putting in this liquidity, by quoting like this, what these guys are doing is they are reducing the probability of the slippage.
Yeah.
And overall, what they are doing is that they are increasing the liquidity.
Yeah.
So that's the basic sum of the what the market makers do. And I would add here that so what happens now is that with the market making, the exchanges and the token issuers, they
Yeah.
can ensure that their customers, the people who come to the exchange and trade in their tokens, they are able to assure that these customers are able to trade a reasonable amount of tokens, a reasonable
Mm.
amount of trade at a reasonable amount of value and at all times, which may not be possible if there is not enough liquidity. And so these guys, the market makers, they are obligated to do these quotes and thus get the liquidity. And in exchange of this service, exchanges like yours, they
Yeah.
may offer some kind of a rebate to the market makers or some kind of some incentivization.
Right.
Similarly, the token issuers, they would also maybe perhaps give some tokens for these market makers, and there is some compensation which is associated with it. So it is
Yeah.
a kind of a thing to they help the token issuers and the exchanges, the stakeholders of that ecosystem, the token ecosystem, towards building up liquidity in the exchange and for that token.
Absolutely. Okay, I think Meenu, you have very nicely explained the different players in the different stakeholders in the token ecosystem, the exchanges, the market makers, and the job of the market makers. Again, we are an exchange. We work with several market makers. So we have different partners. We have different tier of market maker partnership with different market makers who actually help our sort of token issuers or token owners, sort of bring in liquidity to their tokens. Yeah, so this is a daily job for an exchange, right? To work with
Yeah.
several tokens, making sure the volumes are good, the spreads are tight. So on La Token, we have very strict rules in terms of volumes. We have a minimum volume requirement for every token that get listed, which is 20,000 USDT per day, and our spreads are very tight as well, below 1%, right? So
Mhm.
these are the minimum requirements for a token to be live on our exchange for a longer period of time, and we make this very, very clear and transparent upfront with any token that we list on our exchange. So today, Meenu, I think I would like to take this opportunity to invite. There are two projects. They are token owners. So they are basically our partners. I would generally call my clients partners, because this is we enter into a partnership. This is a long term partnership, right? Where we help them. We help their token to be more liquid. Sort of bring in more life to their tokens on our exchange. That's the whole idea, aim, goal of an exchange. So I have two tokens today that are listed. I'm going to be just quickly bringing in the first owner, like in the first person who is the owner of this token. Just quickly introduce yourself, then I can share the screen and take over. Okay. Hi.
Hi.
So welcome to La Token. Welcome to VCTV. So
Yes, Sunny. How are you? I'm doing good. I'm Dr. KVM Naidu. I've
yes.
been representing Hey Bitcoin, I'm the CEO
Yes.
for the organization, and as we have started 3 years ago, with the support of you, Sony, and we are the lot token now, and we are going faster to get pick up into the markets. As such, the guidelines and the guidance has been given by you and by our CMD, Dr. Sundar Kohli. We have been going ahead into the market now. Almost
Yeah,
all
I'm
we
going to
have the communities have been developed like anything in the all over, and very quickly we'll boost into the market soon.
thank you so much for joining us today. I'm going to share my screen and just look at the um, trades that are happening. So this is Hey Bitcoin. Can you see my screens?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, uh, so I think token got listed recently. I've been doing very well on our exchange. Would you like to share a bit about little bit about your token and your project, please?
About the, I mean, token has been listed to large Bitcoin, I mean, lot token. Now we are doing good. As said that the pandemic situations have made us down now, but we have been handling the situations at present, and very soon we will be growing up like anything. As such, I can uh, uh, I cannot exactly, I mean, tell you what are the milestones at present what we have decorated. But very soon we will be growing up like anything. As such,
Is it my
this is
connection?
Nairobi coming into Milan. Yeah, I think some disturbance. Is it okay now?
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
it
it's okay.
audible, Sony?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, as such, I mean, we have been now working very harder on this now, and very soon we are be going to Maldives, where we are going to open up with the DeFi programs also. Once I think very soon we'll rose up into the market.
Okay. Thank you so much. So thank you for joining us and sort of
Thank you.
partnering with La Token, and we are
Yeah.
very happy that you've sort of chosen La
And
Token
we are
as.
very much glad that I'm connecting to the La token. We have a good pride in the market now. The people came to recognize us a very lot. And like I mean, hey, Bitcoin has been linked up with the exchange of an esteemed display organization, La token, and the La token is a fast growing exchanges among all the exchanges in the world. Likewise, we have been with La token, and it's our pleasure, and we are very much glad to connect with La token to boost ourselves and to make your La token also pride in future.
Thank you so much for your time. Any questions,
Thank
Meenu, for him, or we just go move on to the next topic?
Sorry, I have just one question. Dr. Naidu, you said you have just recently launched your token, correct?
Yes, yes,
And
yes,
you
ma'am.
have
It is
used this.
actually, yeah,
Sorry,
yeah, please.
no,
Yeah,
no,
please
continue.
continue, ma'am. No, actually, this has been started 3 years ago, ma'am. Likewise,
Okay.
we have been established got just from Estonia, and from there we have started developing. And the last year, from the February onwards, we have been into the market, and where the IEOs got run there, and
Mhm,
the pandemic situation could not able to make us go forward in the last year. And this
mhm,
year also, that the same situation has happened. Once we have got registered with Law Token, we have got a good recognition in the market now. As such, we are been I mean noticed that yes, I mean hey, Bitcoin has a good standards where it is going with an extreme I mean exchanges at present, and we have been working hard on this, and mostly we will be making our target soon, ma'am. Like
yeah, because the reason why I asked you, Dr. Naidu, is that in my experience, like
yeah,
whenever a token issuer like yourself, right, you come
yes,
up with a new when the token issuers come out with a new token, it is a very challenging task for them to go to the exchanges and to get some traction to their token, to get some liquidity injected into the thing so
yes,
that the trading can pick up. So I think the
yes.
while
I do agree,
the
ma'am.
exchanges as well as the token issuers, they would require the services of the market makers throughout the life period, right, of the token. But this need
Yes,
is especially
yes,
true at the beginning stages because nobody knows what your
yeah.
token is about, right? You can't be
That's true.
recognized
That's
in
true.
the initial stages, and that is where you need the help of market makers. That's all the more important at that
Yes, ma'am.
in that
That's
stage.
true.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah. Yeah.
Ma'am, as such, there is no good awareness in the Indian market. As such, we
Hmm.
have been making a good awareness of the cryptocurrency all
Hmm.
over because
Hmm.
the GOs from the Indian government always get fluctuate like it has been legal, it has been not legal. And the recent
Hmm.
situations that the Nirmala Sitharaman ji,
Hmm.
the financial minister, has also been said the cryptocurrencies will work in India. As
Hmm.
such, on the 2nd of August, Modi ji also has been into this the rupee now. Now the people are
Hmm.
getting awareness of the cryptocurrencies at present because
Hmm.
only the world famous is only Bitcoin is aware to everyone, but
Hmm.
none of the other coins are known to the people now. We have been
Hmm.
conducted the too many awareness programs from Kanyakumari to Kashmir. We have a very good community all over the India at present because what is the digitalization and after because we majorly take an example like after the demonetization has been happened, the people are using the virtually by the Paytms and the UPS, and in this way the people were using now. And the future currency, the virtual currencies and how they work and what they are exactly, we have been getting them the examples like as Amazon has been recognized the Bitcoin exchange with the products and commodities there, and we have been that has become a very good example in India now. The people are
Hmm.
getting understood about this now. People have a good understanding on this, but they are not so interested because they say until unless the government recognize it and the government policies come up, then only we can feel that it is comfortable. Because the people getting invested into this, whether they are in a fluctual minded that whether we do it like it's more or like a share market like we get invested into this. I mean, what will happen in future? But we have been constructing a program, the awareness program and the induction programs we have been conducted all over from every state. We have too many strong leaders around, and we are making them aware what is exact cryptocurrency and what it is going to be in a future life and what it is going to be in a livelihood in future. Because the virtually the people see, I mean, most of the people has come up with with Android phones recently in India. Likewise, see, 60% were using, but I mean today, farmers and I'm coming up to the local traders also using the Paytms now, and that is the reason we are making first the lack of awareness is the main problem. Actually, we are making it awareness. Actually, once the awareness is being into the mindset of the people, then definitely they will go ahead with this. Because as being the CMD of Hey Bitcoin is from India, and I'm also an Indian, and that is the reason we are showing our face values that we are here for whatever the circumstances been arises. In this way, we have been boosting up the people, man.
Hmm. Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank
Naju,
you. Thank you,
for your
Sonny.
participation today. Take care.
All right.
All right. Okay, great. I'm just stopping my screen right now. So, Meenu, so very, very enthusiastic, very sort of positive, owner of the token on our exchange. What have we? What do you want to say?
That's the thing with, I mean, when we talk about blockchain, we talk about cryptocurrency, right?
Yeah,
Now, it's a kind of a dual thing, dual-edged sword. Because of the cryptocurrency, it has gained prominence, but also with the cryptocurrency, it also has some negative ripples there. So it's a kind of a very evolving, it's a volatile market, it's a new trend, new market. People have to differentiate between the crypto as a payment token or as a utility token or as an asset token. There's a lot of scope for increasing the know-how and the awareness and how it is going to impact in the different spheres of a person, right? Whether a professional or as a common man. So yes, there is a flurry of new tokens which have come out. The regulatory sector has to or is still trying to come up in the same speed, at the same speed as the technology. There is disparity, but this is always has always been the trend for any new technology trend. So
yeah.
it's like the market is still evolving, and we have to see how it goes. But it's good to see enthusiasm amongst different people.
Thank you, Meenu. So we've got another project owner. So Daniel, are you from Monetas?
I'm from Kenya.
Okay. I think uh, I am trying to see who is from the Monetas team. So we have another project. Oh, hi. Are you from Monetas?
Yes, yes, I'm from Monitas. Yeah.
So can you please introduce yourself?
All right. So thanks, Sonia, and that was a really nice introduction about the market making. Like I've been following up your portfolio as well. Very interesting things that I got to know. Like I'll introduce myself. So I am currently a product lead, and I'm also managing I'm also doing currently individually managing the market making for the token that we just listed with La Token. Like Sony helped us very well to get listed on La Token, and the procedure was really nice. I'll quickly tell about what exactly are we trying to achieve. So Monitors Global as a product or as a company, we are trying to create a unified wallet solution. Just to give you an example, like different games have different in-game currencies, and they have their own buy and sell where they can just buy products or sell products to different players and something like that. So what are we trying to do over here is MNTG, which is our main token over here. So we are creating a token which can be integrated with any games, and it can be used across different products and games. So like not only games but also products. So let's say you buy some skin or some cosmetic from game one, and then you can sell it to a different user for in a game two, and that is how the whole ecosystem that we are currently building. So we are also focusing on developing some games along with the different solutions that we are providing as a from the blockchain part or from the token part as well. So in this case, like just to give you a very quick recap, what we have done till now. So we have launched our own wallet solution, which MNTG wallet, which can be also downloaded from our website, and then it can be. We are soon going to go live on different app stores as well, like the Google Play Store and the Apple app stores. Once we go live, then we are expecting a lot of people to come and use the wallet as a normal wallet as well. So like MetaMask and Trust wallets are there. So we would want a user to hold, deposit, and do some normal transactions over there. So here is where we want to take the advantage of DeFi network and probably provide some small swapping features so that people can just exchange their tokens with different tokens and liquidity pools which are available in the market right now. But not only that, one of our main things to get listed on La Token is to give the buyers an opportunity to buy token from us, so that whenever we launch game, they have the liquidity or they have that particular tokens available with them to immediately start doing transactions on the games and the products that we will be making live soon. Not only that, we will be also making open APIs so that the game developers and the product developers can just take advantage of our APIs and start integrating that with their own products, so they don't really have to worry about building the whole wallet system, which comes wrapped around the cryptocurrency and all those things. So this is what we are currently trying to aim. I do have a question for you, Meenu, if it's the right time to ask you the question, because since we are talking all about market making right now, as a token owner or as a product lead from this Monitors Global, what I want to understand is soon we will be launching a line of products like games and different utility solutions and all those things. So people will have to buy tokens, and there will be a lot of transactions and trading activities which will be going on as well. So what could be the best strategy where, providing the liquidity to the market without affecting a lot of price drop or something like that, so that, we are able to provide a lot of liquidity to the market, and there are a lot of buyers who can keep buying from us, and then they can use this token at some different places where we will be launching our products. So what could be the best strategy to go about it?
Okay. So just off the cuff, Ro, right? That's your name.
Yeah, you can call me Rohan. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, Rohan. So Rohan, the thing which you mentioned, like you're building up the community for the gamers to buy the tokens, and then you're having APIs and stuff, right? So you're doing a number of things to build up your token, and it's all a utility. And so the thing which also you need to do in parallel, which you said you are doing, is that you list them at the various exchanges.
Okay.
And because the worst thing that can happen to a token issuer is when he kind of spurs everybody to go and adopt the token. So the knowledge, the awareness of the token is there, what people can do with the token, and people get all excited that, hey, I want to
Right.
use that token. But
Yes.
then the
Yes.
problem
Quickly.
comes is, hey, I don't know where I can access that token, right? And
Yeah.
whether I'm able to trade in that token, whether, when, let's say I have that token listed in an exchange, but very few trades are happening. So my nobody would be attracted to that exchange for a token which has got a very low trade volume, because
Okay.
it is
Understood.
it can be subjected to very high voltage prices.
Okay.
So what I had mentioned in shared in the previous episode, like what are efficient markets in terms of a token issuer, we spoke
Yeah.
about the prices have to be stable, there is a very tight spread and all, right? So
Yes.
if your
Yes.
trading volume is not there, so in spite of
Okay.
all the awareness, etc., that you have done through the community efforts, if you do not pay attention to this liquidity stuff while listing at an exchange, and listing at an exchange also doesn't come out cheap, right? So
Yeah.
so when you do that, and you have to do it across multiple exchanges, across multiple markets, not just in one geography. So
Understood.
that has to go in parallel, and it has to go in a way that the what should I say, the speed of adoption of awareness of your token should not get spoiled by the lack of liquidity at an exchange.
Okay.
So for that,
Makes
you
sense.
need to understand the which token pair you need to trade it with, how can
Subject to
you
yes.
get the
Yeah.
liquidity stuff. And you may not be equipped with that know-how, and that is why market makers are the guys who especially have that market know-how. They have
Yeah.
the order book know-how, they can do the technical analysis, and then they can get their bots or human or whatever it is to add to that liquidity.
Yeah.
So you need to have a basic understanding and get to that, and see how you
Understood.
can get that liquidity and the token effort in terms of creating the utility value, getting the community, that has to take place in parallel. Because at the end of the day, it is all about a network effect, right? So the more
Very
people
true.
you
Yeah.
have adopting your token, the more interoperability you have going from one token to another, or one blockchain to another,
Yeah.
the higher is your market outreach. So these are a
Okay.
few things that you need to kind of consider, and you need to plan your milestones according to it. Like, okay, this is where I do my community. This is how my liquidity has to come up. This is how many exchanges I have listed at. What is my token price across this exchange? And there should not be too much of a deviation in the prices across various exchanges, because then that
Arbitrage
can lead.
becomes very difficult. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So just a small few things that you just need to keep into mind.
That's really good to know. Thank you so much, Meenu. And also thank you, Sony, because the one of the thing that we experienced, which is going very well right now, is the trading competition.
Yeah.
Like it attracts a lot of buyers and sellers. Like the asks
Yeah.
and the bids. The order spread book is really good when you
Hmm.
get such exposure when you're getting listed on exchange. So that is something really nice that is working out for us as
Yeah.
well.
So their trading competition is currently live on our exchange.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Rohan, for joining the
Thank
show
you.
today,
Yeah.
and all the best for Monetas.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a good day,
All
both
the
of you.
best.
Bye.
Thank you. That was
Okay,
interesting.
isn't it? So a bit of a twist, Meenu. So, yeah, that was interesting. When you talk to real people, with the
Yeah.
real token owners, issuers, as you
Hmm.
said, and you see their
Hmm.
trades live on an exchange, it is
Hmm.
very interesting, right? Where you
Hmm.
relate to
Hmm.
them, whatever you are
Hmm.
talking,
Hmm.
sort of educational, as we say. This is an educational session, okay?
Hmm.
But when you
Hmm.
talk to people who actually own the token and they've got it on the exchange, they're working with an exchange or the market makers, it becomes very interesting, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. It actually gives you a very well-rounded information about the whole thing, about the
Yeah.
subject.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just conscious of the time. Very quickly, how are these crypto market makers different from traditional market maker?
Okay, so I think the foremost reason, foremost difference is that the crypto markets, they trade 24/7 throughout the year, right? Every
Right.
day.
Mm.
Whereas the other equity markets, for example, from your traditional exchanges, they have those trading times, right?
Yeah.
That is one. The second thing is that the crypto right now is volatile because it's
Yeah.
new, right? So it doesn't
Yeah.
have much of liquidity.
Yeah.
And the third thing, the third reason difference I would cite it as is that as far as a crypto market is concerned, the regulatory landscape is still evolving.
Yeah.
Whereas for the traditional one, it has matured or maybe it is good, right?
Yeah.
But it's not so in the crypto right now.
Yeah.
So there are pretty big differences there. And because of this reason, the
Yeah.
market makers are also resorting to what we call as the AMMs, the
Okay.
automated market makers.
Yeah.
Then that's, I think, is what we will discuss in our next episode.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, I'm just getting messages. So, from the project token issuers, sorry about that.
Yeah.
We're a little bit running ahead of the time, but it's okay. Thank you so much, Meenu. Last question before we wrap up. So, are
Yeah.
there other ways to build liquidity other than market makers?
Yeah. So the market making is the main one for building up liquidity.
Yeah.
But another one is what we call as the order book replication.
Hmm.
So what happens in the order book replication is that you collect the order books across multiple exchanges, you put it together, you aggregate them,
Right.
and then you direct that liquidity
Yeah.
into towards that exchange which has got low liquidity.
Right.
So unlike the market making where you're actually placing some additional bids, right?
Hmm.
Here you're not having any additional bids. It's just
Right.
that what liquidity you had earlier, which was
Yeah.
fragmented,
Yeah.
it's now aggregated and put to an optimal use. So
Okay.
this order book replication is another way by which you can add to the liquidity in the market.
Very excellent, very good. Meenu, I have only special request from Dr. Naidu again. So,
Yeah.
Dr. Naidu, I just came to know from your team member that you have one request or something to share with
Yeah,
us.
yeah. Yes, yes. I'm sorry for that. Please, if you can permit me, I can have a word of two, please.
Yeah, sure,
Hello,
please.
Is it clear?
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
As such, we are going to, yeah. See, as such, we are going to launch a DeFi program on 10th August with the farming and LP. Okay. And
Yeah,
the another exchange, the Indo Codex, with the 54K volume is already been running now. All the documentation has been completed already. And the HYB and the traveling partner with the Excel trip has been signed accordingly. And we are working on it. And we are owning our own wallet, HYB and wallet, which is coming up very soon, and with the own DEX exchange will be launched on the 18th of August. And here coming into, we have been signed with an documentation within a bank in India, which holds around 630 branches all over, and they are based up from the north sector, and where they want to make us to be a co-partner with us, and the utility sectors like with the Bharat Petroleum and the Indian Oil, we already have a word with them already. The utilities will get start very soon accordingly. Once the DeFi program gets launched, then after we can give you a lot of developments will be from the HYBN family. I'm extremely sorry I've missed these points. And for the next session, I will be very much in clear. I'll have a note of all the points now. And I do see because actually sometimes it will be like stage fear, like it's not exactly into that, but I have missed something. But the next session, it would be wonderful. And what are the developments from today we are going to take care. We will be posting each and everything, ma'am. Meenu, ma'am, I'm very much impressed with the knowledge you have and the way we have explained. I'm very much glad, and it's my pleasure that I'm into this meeting today. And I'm very much thankful to Soni Mohanty, ma'am. And
thank
it's
you.
Thank
my
you. That's very
pleasure.
kind of you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Good day.
Okay. So, we have come to the end of the show finally, Meenu. So, what's your feedback?
Well, it's good to see actual the real participants The
Yes.
real workings, complement that with the theory, and you get, as I mentioned earlier, a
Yeah.
well-rounded picture of what is there.
Yeah.
Without, I mean, anyone in isolation doesn't do justice to the thing. So the
Right.
practice without the theory, theory without practice
Practice.
doesn't serve.
Yeah.
So yes, it's been interesting to have that. I would say it's good to include that. That was nice.
Great, great. Thank you, Meenu. As the participants said, you've got enormous experience, and you've shared a lot with me, with our viewers, and with our participants today. Two token issuers. So I think this is not the end. This is just the beginning. This is the second episode. So viewers of VCTV, we are back every Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. UK time and 4:30 p.m. Singapore time, because we both are in Singapore. That's why I emphasize on that. So it's going to be it's like a classroom, it's a coaching session where you understand what are the, what is, like, what are market. See, now we fundamentally understand what is market making, what are market makers, what is liquidity. Now obviously with every session we go deeper into this topic, right, Meenu? So what are you planning for next session?
Okay, so what I have in mind for the next episode is to talk about the automated market makers. So the
Mm.
AMMs for short, what are they, and how do they go about it? So basic know-how about that.
Oh, that's interesting. That's very, very interesting. So, viewers of VCTV who are interested to learn what is AM, automated market making, because obviously market making is a very, very important aspect of listing when you are listing on any exchange, right? So, stay tuned. We'll be back again. Meenu and Sunny, both as both the team, are going to be back next Wednesday at the same time. So, stay tuned, and thank you for tuning in today. And take care. Bye.
Thanks,
Bye,
Sunny, and
Meenu.
thank you, viewers.
Bye. Bye.
Bye bye. Cheers.